Startup ecosystem, what the idea is that you have to learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, again, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow. Send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard, and Lloyd is here. He's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. How's everybody doing? How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I appreciate you hopping on with us tonight to kind of share some of your experiences over the last few months with your founder's journey. And so we definitely looking forward to hearing some of that. Yeah. First, let me share my screen and give a little shout out to our sponsors and partners.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, so we've been on this journey, I guess, since August 2020, August 13th, and we've been doing these events every Thursday for almost 5.5 years now. And our sole objective is to help founders learn the best practice for building a startup. That's what this weekly event is for. But we can't do it without the support of our partners and sponsors. And Alex, let's go ahead, since I got you on the screen here, let's go ahead and let you do a quick introduction.
All right, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Stennett. I'm the founder and CEO of Laminomics, which is a social health platform that helps people to conduct their own miniature health studies that can also be used to help others get personalized health recommendations.
All right, you got it down. You got it down. Fantastic.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, all righty. And so, as a startup, you end up having partners and that you partner with to help you get into the marketplace and grow. So, with Kukua Institute, we partnered with some other ecosystem organizations, some organizations that have access to founders like Blacks in Technology, and then startup science. We want to make sure that the founders have access to tools and education. So we partnered with them. And Coda, that's just a resource that the founder can get for free for 6 months. Have you thought about checking that out, or are you familiar with Coda at all, Alex?
I haven't heard of Coda, but I did look into a few of the other ones actually a few days ago.
Yeah, so Coda is kind of like it's when you think of Google Workspace and you think of Microsoft Office, Coda, you do everything in one document, but it has a lot of integration. So like for the app you're building, you could literally interface Coda to that and pull in all your data you want from your app. And that's kind of the idea there about it. It's just being, instead of switching from one application to another, you pull all your information from your CRM or whatever program you're working with to have it all in one place. And they do that by these simple what they call Coda packs or integrations. And what's neat lately is ChatGPT and some of these other large language models knows how to build these
code pack, so you can actually, you don't even have to be a programmer or anything to build integrations that you need. You just need to have access to the APIs. So that's what's good about that one. They give you 6 months free as a startup founder, and when you go to that partner site, you would just pull down, look in the list, and just pick Kukua Institute to kind of get access to it. So that's kind of what they do. PitchBob, that's like they got so much free stuff and got an AI. PitchBob is an AI coach. So yeah, so we have a kind of thing where you get half price with them. And so one of the programs that you want to get in eventually, Alex, is with Goody Nation. They help hold founders accountable, to their weekly, weekly accountability calls and stuff like that. So we went through that as a nonprofit working in the talent space. So that was a really, really good thing. And of course, about Lean Stack. And here in Florida, definitely can join Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. And nationally, if you're an organization that supports founders, you can join the Black Innovation Alliance. So all these organizations have been helping us grow. So that's good through building capacity to get work done. And most of these here are funders. They help fund the stuff we do here at Kukua Institute. So can't do it without them. And so you've been involved in the Lean Stack training. That's one of the trainings we offer, and you also should have access to startup science. And so I don't know if you're aware in there, Alex, they have resources in there like lists. They have events, and in those events they got pitch competitions. They got grants for funding. You name it, they got it. It's the most complete one-stop shop. Plus, they also got a lot of freebies or discounts, perks, things in there for founders. But anything you want to know about your startup journey, it's a kind of a phase-based approach thing, but that's there for you as well. We haven't onboarded anybody in the co-founder West, but they're pretty neat. But if you're here in Florida, you definitely can get access to Patent X if you want to do any trademarking or filing a patent. And so if you think you need to do something like that in the next 30 days or so, that would be good as well. And so these are some of the things you should get out of participating, and you definitely got involved in the first one, and so you based on your activity now, you should be able to pitch. And if you need co-founders for anything, you should be able to get them just based on your progress you made so far. And startup science is for understanding the startup life cycle, and also you can so now you learn how to pitch. And so that literally unlocks the whole ecosystem for you, and you can evolve from winning thousands of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars, with no equity being taken, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you have to be known in the ecosystem, and so as you make progress, you have to document that in F6S and LinkedIn and other startup founder sites, and so that way they don't have to wonder about you when you apply for something, because they can look at those sites and see your track record, and that's real important.
Okay.
I was talking about the patent hacks a little earlier. So that's free training, and all you have to do is just go to kukuainstitute.org and click the Get Started page, and there's a link on there for patent hacks, and we partner with Black Innovation Leaders of Florida to make that available for folks. All righty, so just talking a little bit about the phases that startup go to, and the main point why I've been showing this for ever since we started, because you can get help at no matter what stage you're at, and even right now you're getting to the stage where you can have an MVP And so, but you've got a lot of help in these earlier stages, and that's what we're trying to make sure people are aware of. But you can, what I found in the ecosystem, you can actually get help all the way through exit. So that to exit. So that's pretty amazing. And this is the kind of the cycle that phases that startup science takes you through. And of course, the lean stack it's a milestone based approach, and that's what that's all about. So our thing is to make sure founders understand where they are and know where they need to go, and and so on and so forth. And there's one thing I wanted to chat with you about, Alex. So you finished a couple of programs last week. So
Yes.
so what are you going to use as a kind of like a support system to kind of keep going? Are you already applying for other programs, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, so I've already applied to at least one other program, and I have my eye on another one through through another program that you've probably heard of, through another like Black Ambition type of thing.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm thinking about that. And then on top of that, I'm just kind of always searching to see what's going on. I've found a lot of incubators through LinkedIn, so that's also another resource I'm looking into.
Yeah. So what do you find, Alex? If you build your profile on F6S, you'll start getting inquiries from the folks the programs that actually match what you're building.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's why that's so important.
Yes.
So the sooner you get all that kind of stuff done, the more opportunities you'll see coming your way for tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But also, on f6s.com, you can actually search for programs there as well. But you have to have your profile built up. So so you can just insert your. That's why you build a profile. So when a program comes up, you can already have the applications already filled out, because it's going to just take the stuff from your profile.
Yeah, F6S. There's a point where I had an account like years ago, and then I tried making an account like recently, and for some reason it's being very strange. So I'm going to try to make an account on another computer and see if that helps.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do, because it is real important. Because I got to do work with through sites like that without even me looking. I got a chance to work with like Avis Budget, British Petroleum, IBM, and stuff like that. But it was through and then also I ended up over in Poland of all places, because they saw my profile and invited me to join their program as well. So yeah, it's pretty it's a pretty big deal to kind of make sure you're visible out there in the ecosystem. Yeah, so definitely don't slack on that, because that makes all the difference in the world. So I asked you on so you could kind of so you've been on your startup journey how long now?
Well, we officially incorporated in 2024, so officially a year, but the idea for Laminomics started in as early as around 2022, 2023.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that sounds reasonable. So so kind of just let's go back. You did this when you were on before, but just kind of give people a background what led you to to building Laminomics.
Sure. So I always, like, ever since high school, I noticed that like there are a lot of health issues or things that are not, that people can identify, but they often are kind of overlooked by the medical system. And then also, if you go on Google Scholar or wherever a lot of research papers are, there are a lot of new findings, but it takes like decades to be actually applied into the mainstream medical system, if at all. So that was kind of one of the first major things that helped to inspire Laminomics, like the need for something to kind of like aggregate findings and also kind of democratize like the observations so that they can all be integrated into like real world application. And then from there, fast forward a few years, in a graduate school program I was in, they made us like do a kind of mock business type of thing. So that was when I just kind of brought together a lot of ideas I had years prior. And then that's the first origin of Laminomics as a business. And then from there, I decided I would go through the university's startup program they had, and that kind of first helped to structure how it works. And then from there, I just kept joining more programs, including this one.
Yeah, that's so kind of walk us through what was your takeaway from each program and what difference did it make?
Sure. So I think that starting, I guess, going in order from the beginning, the college program I was in helped to first show the basics of like how startups work. It kind of just helped me get my feet wet, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then, from there, I started looking at more programs kind of in the community in Florida. And a lot of them actually I found out through chance through either LinkedIn or another person. And I joined a Lauderhill program through the city of Lauderhill, and that was the first pitch competition I was in, and that helped me practice my presentation skills. And then from there, I joined another one.
But did they what kind of feedback did they give you to help you move forward, I guess, to make progress?
Yeah, so they gave, I don't remember every single thing they gave, but a lot of the feedback they gave was stuff on both presentation and then the clarity of your idea, like how you're presenting it. And just, of course, just that was more of a competition, but it had a lot of aspects of kind of an accelerator at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then from there, other things through like local universities, and then most recently through the city of Fort Lauderdale. So, local government programs I find are very helpful as well.
Okay, so kind of tell us a little bit about, how they help you and what you actually learn from it.
Sure. So I think that a lot of the information they give you is kind of similar, but I think that when you are in enough of these programs, you begin to see certain constants that are constantly said each time. It just helps you. It almost like forces you to think about your idea and do it within a specific time frame, so it keeps you on track.
Okay.
And, it just helps you to really like thresh through your idea multiple times.
Yeah. So one common thing maybe is doing pitches at the end. So what have you noticed about preparing for pitch competitions what did you notice about that in preparation for those?
I would say that they're like it forces you, since you have a deadline and since other people are watching, it kind of forces you to really try to present good work and make sure that you have everything organized in a way that both you and other people can understand. So it just really pushes you to really think deeply about your business idea, and then later on you'll find that actually can be used practically to actually start building.
One thing I remember was like one pitch competition may give you 5 minutes, another one may give you 4 minutes, and another one may give you 2.5 minutes. So the significance of what I took away from that is you have to learn how to be clear and concise with the fewest words possible, and so that's really the key. And what I tell people is the more words you use, the more you confuse people. But if you learn how to be clear and concise, it really makes all the difference in the world. Now, so I'm trying to think of what's be a good way to ask this question. These different programs, the application process for getting in the program. So like with the school, and the next program you were in graduate school or whatever, and then the pitch competition was the next thing I think you were saying, and then this city Lauderdale thing. How long was that, by the way?
Most recent one I was in with Fort Lauderdale, that was, I forgot the exact time, but it was several weeks. It was like was it 9 weeks? I don't remember the exact time, but it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So I was going to ask about how did application, was the difference, or did you notice any difference between the application for the pitch competition and to get in the program that was several weeks?
You mean the first pitch competition? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. They were fairly similar. I think that the pitch competition application was a little bit shorter, whereas the accelerator was a bit longer, but they were fairly similar from what I remember. And then even though this was an accelerator, it also had a pitch competition, so it was kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, and so the filling out those applications is the key to getting into the programs. So when you actually filling out the application, you're actually pitching, and that's kind of the point I want to make.
Right.
But so that's a critical thing for the audience, and folks out in the audience, feel free to ask any questions from Alex or I. We're here to help you on your journey, so don't hesitate to ask any questions. So a question was, I guess, the Kukua Institute. How's the Kukua Institute application compared to the rest of them?
The Kukua Institute application was pretty straightforward. Like, the Kukua Institute has been very helpful. It's like actually been one of, well, I don't want to compare. Let's just say it's been extremely helpful. Like, so far, it helped me frame the presentation really well, like in terms of a narrative, like format, like telling a story. And then, so it's also, of course,
before you go into that, I wanted to make sure that about the application part. Because really, we, what I even though I have it at apply.kukuainstitute.org, if for our programs, we don't weed out anybody.
Right.
And that's kind of what the deal is. But 90 to 95% of the programs are real competitive, and they're based on how you fill out the application. Right. So now, if you're applying for a program that's going to give you $50,000 or $100,000 with no equity, they're going to be looking at your application really, really close, and so the point is you have to know how to fill out the application, and that's what a program like ours is it helps you learn, and believe it or not, the Lean Canvas is your business model, but it's also the kind of stuff that you have to have on your application. So you have to do a thorough job, and you will find out all pitches are related to the Lean Canvas. It's just like once you learn that business model, get that business model, those are all the things people want to hear about. So Carlos has a question there.
Yes, it didn't cost anything to apply to the Fort Lauderdale pitch competition. It was completely free.
Mm-hmm. And have you had to pay for any program that you participated in so far?
Not so far.
No. And if it's most startup programs, and definitely there are plenty of them out there that you don't have to pay anything for, and there's probably a few out there that want you to pay something. And I'm not saying don't do it, but just make sure you're going to get the stuff you want out of it. I participated in so many programs. I never had to pay for any programs that gave big money. I got to take that back. One of the first big one I did, they were screening people with a $500 fee, but that was because they weren't familiar with the startup system and ecosystem, and understand you don't. Some may charge a small fee just to kind of that you get back, once you've finished doing everything. But it's very rarely for a startup program that you see cost anything. Yeah. Now, down in your neck of the woods, as you want, like next year, I want to. So the application period for this 35 Muse, it normally comes out, around February timeframe. So that's down for FPL does that one, and they give a little over $100,000, and it's equity free. And since you live down there, you're in good shape if you can get in that program.
What is it? You said 35 Muse?
Muse, like Mules, like MULES. Yeah.
Okay.
They're one of our partners as well.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't put FPL. They're part of that's a program that FPL runs. Yeah. So that would be convenient for you. And that program is actually a long program, but they since you're right there, that makes it really easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah. So I guess the question I always ask too about these programs. Did you, when you were working in these programs, did you mostly work on your business, or did you do something else that wasn't related to your business?
Most of it was directly on our business. They'd also bring in like guest speakers and stuff like that. Kind of like, how Kukua Institute does the Thursday night talks.
Yeah.
Always guests. Also kind of connects you with people in the local community as well.
Yeah.
Like either, like accountants or lawyers, et cetera, things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, that's good. And so in some programs, the lawyers and accountants definitely give free advice to kind of help you move forward. So that's always really beneficial. And a lot of programs too, like even with our judges, you notice they want to help you out and to kind of help you move forward. So I'll ask this question that's kind of selfish, but in any other programs besides Kukua Institute's program, did they teach you how to design a scalable business model?
Well, I think they cover it in some capacity, but Kukua Institute and the platform it uses goes very deep.
Okay, well, yeah, that's the kind of I've went through a lot of programs and they assume you know how to design a scalable business model, but everybody talks about it, but having the method to actually do it is actually another thing. Yeah.
Kukua Institute definitely has the most, I'd say, like systematic method, very rigorous.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like Tony has a question there.
Yes. How did you know you were ready to apply for programs? Sometimes they do list the criteria of like what they're looking for, what stage they're looking for. If worse comes to worse and you're not entirely sure, you can still apply and you can just let them tell you no. But usually they'll tell you the criteria they're looking for. You can also probably reach out to the head if you can and ask them if you're qualified.
Okay, that's exactly right. And also, if you don't ever fill out an application, you're not going to know how to fill it out, right? You're never going to learn how to fill it out. And so, like if you, like in your case, let's say there is a program, so you're still pre-revenue. Let's say there's a program that wants you to have an MVP, and you go ahead and fill out the application just to learn what type of questions they have on applications.
Right.
Yeah, yes. And then also you want to get your name out there too, and become known in that way. See, like the way all venture capital and all these programs work, they if they know what progress you made, you already if they see you go from one point to the next, you got half of the battle done. So this person is serious. They're working on their startup.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so what are you looking for now in a program to kind of help you move forward?
Sure. So I think right now that I'm starting to get a much more concrete understanding of like what the plan is going forward for how to actually, like the milestones to actually really build this out and launch it. I
Uh-huh.
probably am looking for programs that maybe can connect you with like angel investors, or maybe just give you large non-dilutive cash prizes. Just, any program that gives like some type of prize like that. And then
Uh-huh.
yeah, so that's, I guess, programs with financial prizes is the way I would sum it up, since I'm starting
Yeah.
to feel like I know how to
All
apply
heard
the
the story,
financing.
right? This brilliant founder, they've got a world-changing idea.
Sorry about that. I was just uploading
Yeah,
that for a
no
little
problem.
later. Yes. So yeah. So let's take a look at that. I'm not sure if I got a chart in this particular briefing. But let me see here. I'll see if I got my chart in this particular briefing that I always explain about this funding part and where you go to kind of get it, because it's a real tricky one. And one of the things that I found out learned recently working with you all is that based on the stage you're at, what do you need to do to get to the next stage? And those are the things you should be asking for. So right now, I'm assuming that you're trying to get your MVP built, right?
Right. Yeah, we kind of have it planned out, so now we just need to like get resources to build it.
Yeah, and so one way to get resources is through pitch competitions. Funding is through pitch competitions and through programs, and so your ask should be to help you identify those programs or pitch competitions so you can raise whatever funding you need, or like if you need a partner like the doctors or whatever, that's what you should be asking for.
Right.
Yeah, and to kind of get you along the way. So that's really key, because like when you say I need money, the question is, what do you need money for? And but are you really ready for the money? I guess is the main thing.
Right.
Yeah, and that's always remember. So like in the point I made when in the 90-day program you were in, so when people were getting stuck on the problem discovery interviews, that's what you should be asking the ecosystem for, help,
Connections.
yeah, connections. Yeah, and so that's kind of the way. That's what being smart is that you that's the way you leverage the ecosystem to keep growing, because you don't really want to take money like investments or until you kind of know your unit economics pretty well.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what the logic is behind that. And for some reason, my computer looks strange. Let's see if it shows up here. Okay, I think I got it, and I just need to find the slide.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me get rid of this here. Okay. Yeah, so this is something Ash came up with, and I need to create a new slide, and I may have that sort of explain about the ecosystem, but I kind of use this one to kind of help people understand the ecosystem. So you see, left to right is time, and then the line down bottom line is at zero, and as you go up, it's money and traction. And so the green part is when you're doing your business model design. The gold part is the 90-day. The 90-day, and then after that there's a growth thing, but I don't think Ash has kind of published that yet. But if you notice this profit line, it's you're in the red, you're below the zero line. So all your time you're putting in, if you got co-founders, all the time they're putting in, or if you got office space, well, all that's you're going in the red. And so that's what you use the ecosystem for. So you last week so like when money went from pitch competition to demo days, that's what you can kind of use that money for. But if somebody's giving you free software, free office space, that's what also the ecosystem does for you in this area right here. So but the ecosystem only speaks that lean canvas language. So whenever you apply for something, you have to make sure you answer those questions. You pitch your business model. That's like your passport to all the programs.
Right.
And so, and when you pitch your business model to what you're building, not what you have, then that's how you cover this negative red area here. But some people do go ahead and try to raise money at these early stage. More power to them if they can get it. But like product market fit is the opportune time because all this stuff here. Your unit economics. You're profitable, and you just need money to grow.
Right.
But while you're trying to get that MVP and trying to grow, that's what you leverage the ecosystem for. And the ecosystem has enough money in it. It has enough programs in it to get you to where you want to go. And that's what you have to remember. Like even like Startup Science, if you're looking there, it's got events, and those events are pitch competitions. Yeah, and they also got the non-diluted stuff in there. And also when you partner with companies, they may provide resources that you don't have to pay for. Yeah. So, but leverage the out of the ecosystem. Because I'm telling you, it'll help you move faster than you ever could move by yourself. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Even in the competitions I've been in so far, a lot of some of the people I'm working with now have been through the incubators referring you to other businesses or businesses. So yes, I can attest to that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's the way it goes. One program refers you to another program. That program refers you to another program. It's really really great. But yeah, and so my big thing for you right now, Alex, is just making sure that you become more visible. And so I can't remember if I sent you the clips from last time you were on back in September, but definitely need to get the clips and post it on your LinkedIn profile or your what do you call it, the F6S profile or whatever. And if you ever apply for something in Gus, it's a you can build a profile in there because a lot of programs go through Gus, GUST. A lot of majority of programs go through F6S because it appears that they don't charge anything to put programs up there. So yeah, and then I think you can do profiles like on Crunchbase and other type things to kind of help you move forward. Yeah. So do you have any questions from me as far as kind of you moving forward with your journey even more?
Sure. So my question is, I guess the question I've been asking for the past few days, which is, I know you already mentioned one, I think 35 Mules. Do you know of any other pitch competitions that are in Florida that may be going on next year or early next year?
Probably do. But and that's great questions. And so this is what I do. I would say go to F6S, you can search for Florida, and it'll have them. And you can go to Startup Science. If you have trouble logging in there, let me know. I can help you with that. So they got a list of pitch competitions in there. But the key is that for you not to have to go looking, that they come to you. And the only way they come to you is that you have to have the profiles. That's the way the ecosystem actually works. Now, Space Florida sponsors a lot of pitch competition all over Florida. FPL sponsors pitch competitions all over Florida. So these are like, if you go in and follow these companies, like you follow Black Ambition, you follow Visible Hands, you subscribe to all these newsletters, and all these newsletters that they send out have pitch competitions and programs in them. So you're in Florida, you can are you getting the what's called Southern Startups or something? It comes out once a month, and it has all pitch competitions for Southeast Florida startup. Yeah. So all these things, that's the way. If I was going to look at my email, I guarantee there's this week I can guarantee there's somewhere between 30 and 40 pitch competitions in those newsletters I'm getting.
Right.
Yeah, and so that's really the key. And most of the ones that I got in outside of the local area of Florida was, and yeah, so they were as a result of people reaching out to me.
Sure. Yeah, that makes, I'll definitely look into it. I'll again try with F6S because
just like create another email on your domain name or whatever, and that's the simplest thing you can do. But yeah, they're kind of, you know, I've had trouble with them with my login before, but now that I think they have it where you can log in with Gmail or whatever, Google or whatever.
When they did that update though, that's when I started having problems. So I'll contact you if anything goes wrong.
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Anybody else got any questions for Alex? Comments? Yeah. So I guess I'll ask. So how do you think you're going to generate revenue with your startup, and you know, in the future? Yeah.
Sure. So in the near future, you know, we're just doing an MVP. So we're just going to mainly test out one main revenue stream just to make sure like that is optimized. And then when we start feeling comfortable that we have a more reliable stream, we'll start expanding to other offerings and of course other segments.
Yeah. And I was just thinking you may have missed the Emerge Americas. Did you get a chance to apply for that?
Yeah. Not this year, but I know I've heard of the Emerge Americas. Yeah.
And so the Merge of Americas, so they have a startup showcase. Yeah. That's another thing you want to do. You get in those programs that have startup showcases, right. And then so you know the people in the industry come by and visit your showcase. But yeah, it's not a bad one to give. They used to do like a pre-revenue and a revenue type thing. And that's right in your backyard. They may have extended it because I think the deadline was sometime. It's not until next spring or something. So, yeah, if I were you, I would check it because at a minimum you can get. If a lot of times when you apply, you get like free passes to go, even if they don't accept you in.
Right.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, but the thing is, like if you apply and get in there, they train you 6 weeks before. They take you through a boot camp, and then they you get the VIN for a couple of days, and then the judges come by and ask you a question, and you don't know who's the judge and who's not a judge, and then they pick the people for the pitch competitions.
Right.
Yeah. But you're close to Miami and just staying connected with the ecosystem down there. I know it's still a ways, but it's if you're in the startup business, you definitely need to be willing to take a drive down there to some of the activities that are going on. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. That's good. Anybody got any more questions for Alex? I'm gonna pivot, Alex. You're welcome to stay on. I'm gonna start talking a little bit about the stuff we learned over the years working with founders, especially this year. You're welcome to hang on, or you can. The email I sent you, they also had the viewing link as well.
I'll stay on, but before you start, I'm just gonna again thank you again, and also to the Institute for everything, because I've learned a lot from this program. It's been pretty helpful.
Okay, yeah, and just so you know, starting, I'll do an announcement sometime, but starting next month, for anybody that's been through the program, we're going to have like refreshers and make sure everybody knows how to use all the AI stuff and the vibe coding tools and just kind of helping people learn how to move a little faster with all this stuff that's out there.
Right.
Yeah. So just be on the lookout for that. And so even though you're once you get involved with what we're doing, you always have access to me and the coaches and and we do office hours and we do this. So don't ever feel like you're done with the program. So just
Right.
make sure you understand that.
Yes.
Okay. We definitely enjoyed having you, and we appreciate you participating and following instructions.
Yep, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. Good
Yes.
seeing you. All right.
Yes,
Keep up the good work.
thank you. That likewise. Goodbye.
All righty. What I wanted to do next, everyone, is kind of review some of the things we've learned over this year working with founders, and I'll start off with the video here, and let me get rid of this, and I'll leave Alex down and looking from there. But it's like really been a interesting and fantastic year, and so this morning, when I got up, I been doing a little reflection, and so I said, well, I started asking ChatGPT what have I learned, because I record everything, and I all the other workshops I go to, all the things I present at, I just record everything and then bring it back to ChatGPT, Notebook LM, and try to understand, what actually happened there, and so it's got to reflect sometime to on your activities and the benefits you actually get from them, and so. And one of the biggest things I didn't realize how much information was in transcripts, and it's just amazing the things you miss when you don't record a meeting or something that you're in, and so but yeah, I just like getting the most out of everything and trying to learn as fast as I can. And I still consider myself in a learning mode. And so what I learn, I'm learning for myself and I'm learning for the founders. That's the way I look at it. So when I do analyze a transcript, so I typically trying to get out of the takeaways, out of that transcript. What are the action items that I can get out of there from to take action on? Well, like what I mean is takeaways, insight, and actions that I can take as the Kukua Institute. But I'm also trying to, what actions should founders be taking? And then just over the weekend, I started looking at what action we should consider in all this stuff we're doing as it relates to youth. And Dr. White, she's always saying that you have to teach your children, and they have to do it for 3 generations for it to actually catch on. So, and the example I would give, I participated in a panel on Sunday, and so I recorded it, and I run my normal prompt, but then I added, so what impact does this have on for children? And it basically said, as you're learning stuff as an adult, you should make sure um, you expose your children to it, so they don't have to go through the pain that you go through and try to move things forward. And so that's kind of you know, yeah. So like I'll share my screen here and go, but also I'll show a video in a second here. But this was one of the things. Let me share the screen here. So, and this was just this morning. So over the past year, what have I learned about lean playbooks and how to help founders use them in their business? And so I've been doing a lot of prompting on that. So of course, Chat GPT knows about that, and so and that's just a simple prompt. And I did this, and it really got some good insights from it. Yeah, and so that's kind of what my approach was, to kind of catalog all those insights, and then I can actually, if I want to, I can dump them over in the Notebook LM and create and explain a video um, as well. But as you can see, this prompt is I really went down. It showed a lot of things I learned, but it also figured out ways I could actually package it as well. So that's just an idea of a reflection thing that you can actually do. And so let's go to I even did one for personal growth, and so that was interesting as well, because as a person, I've been prompting stuff in there. So the question is, let's see where I started on this one. Okay. Yeah. So this one was interesting as well. So it says, the first one, it says you learned the power of reflection. Okay. You learned to separate ego from evidence. Everybody has those egos. You learn the patience with people at different stages. So, I deal with founders at all stage. I deal with youth with all stage. You learn that consistency builds trust more than intensity. Consistency. So you learn to integrate technology without losing humanity. That was cute. You learn the value of naming and framing your work. So like, yeah, I actually learned that working for the government. If you wanted to get some funding for something, you have to give it a name. And it, the framework is kind of, how do you use whatever. So we used the lean stack framework. So to help founders learn how to stay on track, going from an idea to launch and growing a business. You learn that your role is a builder of builders. That's interesting. But always you have to help people grow if you want to grow. You learn to trust your own pattern recognition. So everything in the world is patterns, and so if we use AI to do pattern recognition, but our brain is good at doing pattern recognition. Let's see. You learn that growth requires rest, boundaries, and focus. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I was all worn out, so I had to start pacing myself. Um, um, let's see. You learn that growth requires, yep, they got that one. You learn who you are becoming. Oh, interesting. That's deep. Yep. Yep. And so from that, of course, it's going to try to get you to do stuff. I'll take a break here and show you a video. But basically, what I want you to know is, and most of those of you that have the business idea prompt where you go from business model to validating demand, if you go in there and in that business idea prompt and ask it to extract Lanika's prompting method, it'll give you that prompting method, and that's what I use now to on all the transcripts. And I just recently added the how it could help youth, and so that's a really good thing. So let's get this back out here. Let's see one more time. Then let me show the video, and then I'll come back and show you some more stuff that I learned. So this is I'll just show it, and then you can get the gist of what it.
Fizzle out. And the usual story blames a lack of skill or a bad idea, or maybe they just didn't have enough grit. But what if that whole narrative is just wrong? Today, we're going to dig into some fascinating insights from the Kukua Institute that point to the real hidden reasons so many startups. So let's start with this. What if founders aren't the ones failing, but the system is? Think about that for a second. It completely reframes the entire problem. Instead of pointing fingers at individual founders, it makes us zoom out and look at the very ecosystem that's supposed to be helping them. It's a huge shift from asking, hey, who failed, to asking, wait a minute, what's broken here? Okay, so this lays out the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you've got the common view, the usual suspects, lack of skill, bad ideas, poor motivation. It's what we always hear. On the other hand, here's the hidden truth that the Kukua Institute uncovered. The failure isn't happening inside the programs, like in the accelerators or the workshops. Nope, it's happening in that empty, unsupported space between them. All right, let's get into our first section here. Founder's paradox, and it is a paradox when you think about it. Why is it that a founder can absolutely crush it inside a program, get all the check marks, graduate with honors, whatever, and then just a few months later, they're completely stalled? It doesn't make sense, right? Well, let's figure out why it's happening. This is the key observation right here. Founders stall between milestones, not inside programs. See, the programs themselves, a lot of them are great. They give you value, they give you connections, amazing insights. But the second that program ends, poof, the structure is gone. The founder is left with a ton of great ideas, sure, but zero momentum, no obvious next step, and absolutely no accountability. The support comes in little bursts, but a founder's journey, that's a marathon. And when that structure evaporates, these are the real-world constraints that come crashing in. We're talking about time, money, and emotional bandwidth. This isn't about a lack of motivation. This is about the brutal reality of your clock is ticking and you've got to validate your idea before rent is due. It's about watching your financial runway disappear. It's about the sheer emotional burnout of having to make these huge, high-stakes decisions all by yourself. These are the things that make a founder stall. We've established that the problem is this gap between programs. Now we need to figure out what exactly that gap. Let's dive into the ecosystem's missing link and pinpoint exactly what's broken in the support system. This quote from the Kukua Institute hit the nail on the head. The failure occurs in the spaces between organizations. It's such a powerful way to put it. Think of the whole startup ecosystem, a chain of islands. Each island is a fantastic program or maybe a helpful funder. The problem is there are no bridges connecting them. Founders are expected to swim from one to the next. A lot of them get swept away by the current. So what do these gaps actually look like on the ground? Let's break down some of the most common ones. First off, a founder's readiness for a program is assumed. Nobody's actually measuring it. Then you've got the fact that the programs aren't sequenced in any logical way. It's more a random buffet of options. And then there's this. The second a program ends, all accountability disappears. And maybe the biggest one of all the learning and data a founder generates gets trapped in that one program. It doesn't travel with them. Okay, so if the problem is a broken system, then the solution can't be another program. That's putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. What we need is a whole new system. We need an OS for progression. And that's exactly what the Kukua Institute has proposed. It's called the Founder Insights Program, or FIP. And I want to be super clear. This is not another workshop. The key phrase here is operating model. Think about it, the operating system on your phone or your computer. The OS is what lets all your different apps talk to each other and work together. The FIP is designed to be that OS for the founder's journey, the connective tissue that holds everything together. So, how does this OS actually work? It's got a few key parts. First, there are structured playbooks, so you always have a map of what to do next. Second, it brings back that accountability, but it's tied to hitting real evidence-based milestones. And this next part is so important. It creates explicit decision gates. You have to stop and consciously decide, do we persevere with this idea? Do we pivot? Or do we pause? And it even uses AI to help synthesize all the data, and it's constantly tracking progress. It basically creates this passport of learning that a founder can carry with them wherever they go. This is the most crucial mindset shift of all. The focus is no longer on completing something, creating evidence-based forward motion. The goal isn't to finish the accelerator anymore. The goal is to generate actual proof that you're moving in the right direction. It puts all the value on learning and validation, not on checking a box. That changes absolutely everything. What's cool about this is that it's not a better model for the founders. It actually creates a much healthier, more efficient system for everyone involved. Let's take a look at why this model works for the entire ecosystem. You can see how this all creates a positive feedback loop. For funders, this is huge. It means they're putting their capital behind hard evidence, not a good story or a charismatic pitch. This cuts down on wasted money from funding companies too early. And then for the ecosystem partners, the accelerators, support groups, it makes everything smoother. You get clearer handoffs between programs, and everyone's looking at the same signals for readiness. And what's the end result? A system where fewer promising founders fall through the crack. Let's zoom out because the big takeaway here goes beyond the startup world. This insight has huge implications for how we try to solve complex problems in any field you can think of. This quote says it all, doesn't it? Sustainable founder outcomes do not come from more isolated programs. They come from aligned systems. Think about it. You can have the best, most well-funded programs on the planet, but if they don't talk to each other, if they aren't part of a connected, aligned system, you're always going to get spotty, fragmented results. It's time to stop building isolated islands and start building some bridges. And at the end of the day, the goal is this straightforward. We want fewer stalled founders, we want better outcomes, and we want stronger ecosystems. By shifting our focus from the individual programs to the system that connects them, we can actually achieve all three. I'm going to leave you with this final question to think about. This isn't about startups. Think about education or healthcare or social services. Where else in our own work or in our own communities are we so busy building these excellent but totally isolated programs that we're actually failing to build the connected systems that create real, lasting change?
Cool. Yes. So this infographic, it sort of explains that a little bit as well, and I like and basically what it's saying is that when founders, need something to support them, all the time, not just while they're in a program. They need something that supports them all the time in between programs. So just like Alex, he just finished a program, so he's applying for other programs. But what's helping him while he's in between the programs? Does he keep moving and making progress? And that's one thing I actually love about the lean stack is that it's based on these 90-day cycles. So when one 90-day cycle ends, you start another 90-day cycle, and you hold yourself accountable as you go through it. That's how you continue to follow the lean startup methodology. But basically, what we found was even with the lean stack framework, that stuff, you go through it, but it's got so much stuff that's deeply buried into it that it's hard to understand. And so that's why you need some type of AI support to help you understand all the stuff in there. And Ash himself is actually building Lean Spark for that very reason. And we're building a support system. That's what our founder insight program is all about. And so this chart sort of explains it. And then just from the big picture, fixing founder support, that's what it's all about. That's what we're trying to do. Let me Yeah. So yeah. So it's just a lot of stuff. Founders up there where it's all content based. And when you look at, we've been doing workshops, and so we've been trying to turn these workshops into learning systems. We've been giving folks access to all the material that they need, but we also have to hold the founders accountable. And we looking at the outcomes for the founder as opposed to outputs. And instead of, you know, episodic workshops, episodic 30-day, 90-day program, just doing continuous stuff. And so really it's all about learning. And if I can say one thing, this year, the AI has helped me learn a lot faster. Tools like Notebook LM and back in June, we discovered Lanika's approach to prompting, and that just generates so much more learning. It's really neat. So my mind is totally blown at how fast you can learn, and leveraging these AI tools. We learn how to leverage the vibe coding tools and how to deploy apps. We just learned so many things. It's just amazing. So in the coming year, we want to share all the things we learn and continue to learn with you as a founder. So if you ever been in our program before, or you new to our program, definitely look out and hop on board starting next month. And you can get access to our program through our apply.kukuainstitute.org, and just look forward to moving faster and being able to build faster. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a powerful next year. And this is our last event for the year. And so I just want to let everybody know I really appreciate all the support this year, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with all our founders and all the founders and all our partners. It's really been meaningful for me. I learned so much, and I'm excited about what I learned. Excited about what we help founders learn. Excited that what we learned, that now we can go back and share it. And so we will, this is our last program for event for the year. But if you're a founder and you're still working on the holidays and you need help with something, feel free to reach out. Be glad to help you. Everybody have happy holidays coming up, and be safe, and enjoy the blessing of the families. Thank you all. We'll see you all next year. Bye-bye.